Yo, what's going on? Chavo Guerrero Jr. here, giving a big shout out to Wrestling Rehab. Keep watching, keep listening, and viva la raza.
Órale.
As we keep getting closer and closer to WrestleMania, Showcase of the Immortals, right? Um, SmackDown. SmackDown is behind us now. Okay. And I was seeing some reports that this was like the lowest rating SmackDown in who knows how long. And I kind of thought to myself, like, um, I look, it wasn't a special SmackDown, but I've seen worse. Why the ratings will be so low? I mean, I will say that the main event and the continual story of Cody and Drew McIntyre has gotten pretty darn jaded. Where the interest, especially if you're going to go ahead and have that as the main event, as the main selling point, it's like, you know, if you could go ahead and do it, that's fine. But as the main selling point, and look, it's Cody Rhodes. Okay, it's Cody Rhodes. So I get that he needs to be somewhere in the main event, but it's just the fact that it's him and Drew McIntyre, like again, going at it. It's just, gosh, man, it's just a little bit of a bummer because it's pretty darn jaded. I don't really care that much about it, and apparently, not too many care that much about it either. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and let's get into it. Yes, we got Monday Night Raw up tonight. We'll get to a couple of things that's going to be happening on Monday Night Raw as well. But let's go ahead and let's get into it. Um, First, actually, I kind of want to talk about this. Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, yes, KO. It's looking good from what I understand for him to be making his ring return, but he's still nowhere near. We're still going to be looking at months upon months for him to make his return. So I'm hoping Kevin Owens does come back. I am a fan of KO, so I'm hoping he comes back, but it's doesn't look likely. I was thinking to myself, right? To myself personally, I was thinking like, man, maybe we see him at WrestleMania. But no, that's not going to be the case. So, um, Road Dog. Now, I didn't touch on this. Road Dog is gone from creative. That is something significant. Um, I don't look. How much was he involved? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I didn't really take the time yet to kind of look into, okay, what was the big issue? Did he have an issue with Triple H? Was him and Mr. Paul Levesque having a big issue back and forth with each other where he just said, you know what, I'm out of here? Or did Levesque get rid of him? I'm not really sure. But nonetheless, Road Dogg, who has been back there for quite some time, he's gone, at least for the time being. I don't know. Do they do a kind of uh uh shoot, his name just escaped me. Um our truth. That's what I'm thinking about. Do they do kind of like an our truth thing? I doubt it because our truth was actually on TV. Road Dogg, you didn't really see him on TV. So I don't think you can really do anything like that. But nonetheless, I never really looked into detail on what storylines he was involved on, what he would go ahead or not involved, but what he wrote, how much of creative he really was a part of. I just knew he was a part of creative, but I don't know what part of the show that he had his hands dug into. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that, man. I pretty much just know Road Dogg, man, just from his wrestling days. As far as him being part of creative, like I said, I don't know how much or how little he contributed. I guess we'll see with the product. I don't know if, we're all saying like, hey, man, Gunther, man, that's Paul Levesque's boy right there, right? That's what I think. Or was it Road Dogg's boy? I don't know. But I guess we'll see in due time. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's get into Cody Rhodes becoming champion again. Okay, okay. This had to happen. This had to happen. Now, there's a lot of this, okay? And he doesn't even hold the title closer and closer to WrestleMania. I'm just kind of like, listen, look, I like Drew. I do. But where we stand now, I really don't see a storyline that you could put him in where it's going to be main event WrestleMania. Night one, I would assume, because I'm just going to assume that Roman Reigns versus CM Punk is going to be main event night two. Or if you don't main event it, it's still the championship. What is it, the WWE title? Okay. To see Drew McIntyre as champion, I'm not really sure what match you can put him in that's going to be WrestleMania caliber worthy. Where it's like, this is a title defense. This is a championship match. And when Randy Orton went in the Elimination Chamber, I was just thinking to myself, okay, okay, Drew versus Orton. It's not a terrible match, okay? It's not a gosh awful match. It's not a match where it's like, good gosh, this is terrible. But at the same time, if we're gonna be real, that's not really a WrestleMania championship caliber match either. Like, are you really that excited to see Orton versus Drew in a championship WrestleMania match? I mean, you could have really started building the match, sure. But at the same time, the way that all this was planned out, right? If nothing else was planned out, boy, this was definitely planned out. The way they had Drew and Cody just going at it back and forth, back and forth. Drew Ryan to screw Cody over and over and over again, right? Having Jacob Fatu somewhere in the mix. Yeah, he wasn't part of the beef with those guys like big time, but he was always somewhere in the middle of the mix. And now that we saw what happened at SmackDown, it's like, okay, so it's gonna screw Drew McIntyre over because he's not gonna have no championship match at WrestleMania, Showcase of the Immortals. I wonder how he feels about that because he's being removed. He's being completely removed from that title picture. Or is he? We'll get to that in a second. But with having Solo come out and get involved with the Drew and Cody match, which, by the way, Drew McIntyre was able to put Cody Rhodes through one of those Slim Jim tables, right? It was supposed, to the best of my knowledge, just the way it looked, it was supposed to be through the announce desk, but it collapsed with both of them standing on top of it. The desk just kind of fell apart on its own. But they went ahead, they improvised, and they pulled out one of the Slim Jim tables from underneath the ring. And eventually, Drew was able to put Cody through the table. Now, there was no disqualification on there. Don't know why, but oh well. The match still continued. We have the referee get knocked out. And then we have the second referee get knocked out on purpose by Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre's looking to cheat. Jacob Fatu gets involved. He doesn't really do much other than just rip the chair from the hands of Drew McIntyre. Now, does that really cost him the match? Did Jacob Fatu really screw over Drew McIntyre? I mean, did Jacob Fatu come in and start beating down Drew McIntyre? Did he start, stomping him out or anything that low blow him or anything like that? No, no, he didn't. He just took the chair away from him, which again, it didn't just, it's not like he took the chair away from him and immediately right after Cody hits him with the crossroads and it's over. Like, no, the match still continued for a little while longer, which was the this was a good match. Look, SmackDown had a really good match. The match was really good. And I was interested because I'm like, okay, I think the title can change hands here because it's Randy Orton going to Mania. So the fact that it was a good match, but something that really stuck out is the fact that they both hit the opposite finishers. Okay, so Drew McIntyre hit Cody Rhodes with the crossroads at some point, while Cody Rhodes hit Drew McIntyre with a claymore at some point. Both of them kicked out of their own finisher being used on them. I thought that was a cool little throwback right there. I enjoyed it, but just overall, I enjoyed the match. But so Cody Rhodes hits a super Cody cutter. He goes up to the top turnbuckle and then hits it, then picks up Drew and hits him with the crossroads. All right, then he wins. I'm sure Drew's going to be pissed that Fatu got involved, which they can go different directions with this, okay? Which is what I want to get to now. All right. One thing that they can do is have Drew McIntyre start a program with Jacob Fatu, which would be fine. I mean, Fatu, he's a babyface now, and he's been a babyface for a while. So they could go ahead start a program together. It would be a good match. What's it going to be for him? I don't know. Really, for nothing. Maybe they could build it between now and Mania and put some sort of stipulation to it. Maybe make it, a no holds bar match or whatever you want to call it, extreme rules, and it's all the same stuff. But just to have a straight up one-on-one match, like, in order to hype that fight up, I think they gotta throw something to it. Turn it into something. TLC match or a tables match, the first one to go through a table or something. Don't just leave it just as a straight up match. Do something with it. And on the flip side, you go ahead and you have Cody versus Randy, which which if they start building this sucker up, which I believe they're going to, I believe they can build it up right. And you start showing the history that these two guys have. Now, the odd thing about this is that they're really going to have to find a way not to talk about DiBiase. That's going to be an odd thing. I don't know if anybody knows what's going on with DiBiase, with Ted, but him and his dad, the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase, they are going through some major legal issues. Major legal issues. And I'm sure the WWE wants nothing to do with it. So, with a lot of money and fraud, I'm sure the WWE wants nothing to do with that. So, was it just Cody and Randy? No, no, it was not. It was Cody, Randy, and Ted DiBiase. So, they're really going to have to find a way and crop a lot of the footage, in my opinion, to try to get DiBiase out of there. Because as soon as anybody brings up legacy, I'm sure the first thing is going to come to mind, like, oh yeah, what about DiBiase? Which, like I said, I'm sure the WWE wants nothing to do with what they're going through right now with their legal battles. But aside from Ted DiBiase, yeah, I think you can go back in history and start showing a lot of the footage without DiBiase, of course. They're going to have to work on that and really start building this match up. And I think it can work. And I think it will work done correctly, of course. And you could build this match up from main event at WrestleMania Night 1. And building it up with, okay, Cody just won the title back. Is he really going to lose it? Is he really going to lose it a month later? Is he really going to lose it? Well, how about Randy? Randy's the closest one to John Cena's record. What does he have? 14? Is he going to get to 15? Is he really going to get there? Now, winning Elimination Chamber is a little different than winning the Rumble, okay? Because the history isn't there yet. They barely started doing that, I don't know, not that many years ago, where the winner of the chamber goes on to get the title shot at WrestleMania. Now, the Rumble, they've been doing that since 90, 94, 95 ish, somewhere around there. That if you win the Rumble, you get to go and, as they once used to say, headline WrestleMania for the World Championship. Now, back then, there was only one champion. There wasn't a champion on SmackDown. There was not a champion on Raw. It was just one champion. But like I said, things have definitely changed. Not everybody wins the Rumble, becomes the main event at WrestleMania anymore. They get the title shot for sure, but this doesn't mean they headline WrestleMania. There's been quite a few WrestleManias between then and now where the winner of the Rumble going after the title was not the biggest match. There have been much bigger matches. So they just throw that championship match somewhere in the slot of on the card, but not the main event. So Elimination Chamber has been around for a minute or two, but they just barely started doing that. Where it's like, okay, well now the winner of Elimination Chamber goes after the other title. That started just not that long ago. So Cody just won the title back. Some people feel that they screwed over Drew McIntyre because he didn't have a long run with it. I'm okay with it. There are some moments where you do need the title to change hands pretty fast. I don't want it to be predictable. I don't want everybody to have, a year-long run with the title. So building Cody versus Randy, I think was the right way to go. Now, that was one way. What's the other way that these guys that they can go with this? Well, the other way is that they can turn this into either triple threat match, a fatal four match. Now, I would say fatal four is a little bit too much, but I heard a couple of people throw that idea around to say, hey, listen, why don't they turn it into a fatal four way where it's Drew, Cody, Randy, and Jacob? And I'm like, no, see, Jacob doesn't fit into this equation. Yes, Jacob doesn't get along um, with Drew McIntyre. Sure, they can go ahead and have that match before WrestleMania. They can go ahead and have that match on a Raw, on a SmackDown. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, at a SmackDown. Because if you have a fatal four way with those guys, to me, it's like, just give me the triple threat match. If you're going to go down that route, if you're going to go down that route, just give me the triple threat four way. We don't need a Jacob in there, even though Jacob will put on a pretty damn good match. But just give me Drew versus Cody versus Randy. And I think here's what I would say when it comes to this, okay? Personally, I think the bigger match would be Cody versus Randy one on one. I think the buildup will be bigger, the storyline will be bigger. However, a better match, I think, will be the triple threat match. Tossing in Drew McIntyre in there. Which way would I want them to go? I kind of would just want them to stick to a one-on-one. Cody versus Cody versus Randy. Now, if they go with the triple threat, I'm not gonna have that big of an issue with it. I know the storyline it probably won't be as sexy as one-on-one, but I'd rather see the one-on-one. Now, Drew McIntyre, him and Jacob Fatu, yeah, they could get busy at WrestleMania. You're gonna need Drew McIntyre to do something. I mean, between now and then, you're really gonna have to push this off. I'm wondering what they're gonna do with Drew between now and Mania. Now, one thing that you can do is you can go ahead and have a match with Jacob Fatu, right? Before Mania, and have that match end in some sort of disqualification, some sort of count out, some sort of controversy of that sort. And then you pump the match up for WrestleMania, like, okay, well, now you guys are going to do it. No disqualifications, no countouts. Las Vegas, street brawl at WrestleMania. So I would rather they go with the one-on-one match as opposed to the triple threat, and for dang sure as opposed to the fatal four-way match. That's for dang sure. So we'll see which way they go with it, because I was kind of skeptical on Randy Orton winning the chamber. I did not see that coming. I don't really have a problem that he won. It's fine. He's definitely a future Hall of Famer, hands down. Definitely a future Hall of Famer. And I think the only main event can work. This championship match can work if it's going to be against Cody Rhodes. Had it been against Drew McIntyre, holy smokes. Yeah, no, it wouldn't have worked. It would not have worked. But because it's going to be against Cody Rhodes as it stands, yeah, yeah, I'm interested in this. So, all right, we got a few minutes before Monday Night Raw comes on. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get to this. So, we have a gauntlet match, okay, for the number one contender for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Okay, so as you guys know, AJ Lee beat Becky Lynch, right? And at the Chamber, and became Women's Intercontinental Champion. And she's saying, listen, I will take on anybody back there, any one of those ladies, right? So there's going to be a gauntlet match tonight between Io Sky versus Asuka versus Bailey versus Lyra Valkyria versus Ivy Nile versus Raquel Rodriguez. Okay. It all depends which way they're going to go with this. If they're going to have AJ Lee lose the title, I would want it to be against Raquel Rodriguez. I would. I don't think Oscar wins this match. I don't think Ivy now wins this match. Lyra Valkyria, I could see her winning this match. I could see Bailey winning this match. I can see Io Sky winning this match tonight. I want Raquel to win this match. I think it's time that she gets a little bit of a push, a little bit of shine, and I want her to win this match. I don't think she's going to. I really don't. Honestly, I think they're going to go with Bailey. I'm not even really sure when this match is supposed to happen because, like I said, it's for the number one contender. So, are they looking for WrestleMania? AJ Lee versus the number one contender of this match at Mania? Or is it just the following week? Like I said, There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Two of them I eliminate right off the rip. Oscar and Ivy now. Lyra Valkyria, Raquel Rodriguez, Bailey, and Io Sky, I give them all shots. And I give Io Sky and Bailey the biggest shot. Yeah, I'm going to root for Raquel Rodriguez to win. I wanted to get a push. All right. Also, tonight, you got Obafemi versus Rusev. In my opinion, they should save this match for WrestleMania, but that's not what's going to happen because there's talks about Oba Fleming versus Brock Lesnar. If that's the case, then yes, you definitely go down that route. You do not save Oba Fleming versus Rusev if you're going to do Oba Fleming versus Brock Lesnar. You got to go down with the Brock Lesnar route. Um, I'm thinking Oba Fleming takes care of Rusev, trying to build him as a big monster. And I'm becoming more and more of a fan of Oba Fleming. Uh, you have him defeat Rusev Day, um, just to build him as an unstoppable beast, and you have him go up against Brock Lesnar at Mania. You also got the Intercontinental Championship match between Penta and the original El Grande Americano. I got Penta winning this match because I think the original El Grande Americano is going to get screwed over by all the fake uh, Grande Americanos. Or there's only one fake one, and then all his little punk ass minions. But that's what I think is going to happen. All right, man. Monday Night Raw is starting on Netflix, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna tap up out of here. You guys be good. I'll catch you guys on next one.